Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Beanie, and we are back with another player review. Today, we are going to be reviewing the 4 brand new 99 overalls that they came out with on, was it Monday or Tuesday? I forget. I think it was Tuesday. But we're going to review those so we can be ready to review the new diamonds that are coming out today at 2 o'clock. I am going to be streaming for whenever they come out with the new content, so we can all check that out together. Please stop by. But with that said, let's get into the player review. Okay, guys, we are going to start out with the 99 overall Joe Mauer, and the reason I'm starting out with this card is because I've been waiting on this card all year. This was like one of my favorite cards from last year, and honestly, I like this one. Even though it's a little bit different, I like it just as much, if not maybe more, than I like the one from last year. Defensively, this one I think is a little bit better than that one from last year. Offensively, he's not quite as good. Last year, I think versus righties, he was like 99, 98. And then versus lefties, he was about the same, 97, 58. But it's just marginally worse than it was last year. Overall, this card is an absolute stud. He's a left-handed hitting catcher who absolutely demolishes right-handed pitching. He's very solid against lefties. He's not going to have a ton of power, but he's going to be a really good like slap hitter, contact-oriented guy with a really big PCI and a really good swing. I hate the animation, the way it looks for his swing, but it's kind of like that Corey Seager type swing that's really, really effective in this game. So that's another bonus for him. And defensively, he's really solid too. There aren't too many catchers in this game that have 87 fielding with 88 arm strength and all that stuff. His 78 blocking might be kind of a concern, but me and Cardinal Bird tested that out together, and we are not really sure how much blocking really matters. We think it matters a little, but not a ton. Overall, this card, guys, is just phenomenal. I think that this card is definitely worth moving your cap off a catcher and putting him somewhere else, maybe like second base. I think that would probably be a pretty good idea with this card being out. I think that this card is excellent, and I think that this is certainly an in-game card and the best catcher in the game so far. So I ended up giving him a fag of a 9.4. Next up is the 99 overall Dennis Eckersley, and man, poor Dennis Eckersley. He's been in this game since 2015, and since that time, I have not found one Dennis Eckersley card that I liked, that I thought was really all that usable. He's just his style of pitching in real life doesn't translate to this game very well. As a reliever, 85, 94 per 9s, they're really good, but there are so many relievers at this point that are like 99, 99, or really close to it with hitting K per 9, so that's kind of underwhelming. The one, bonus for this card is that he has really good control, or really good walk per 9. I don't want to say control because control means very little in this game. It's mostly walk per 9 that you're concerned with when you're talking about how good a pitcher is at locating. So he has really good walk per 9, so that's good. His pitch selection is not great at all. It's nice that he has a sinker, and probably a pretty effective sinker, and I know he has a really good slider, but he doesn't have any off-speed pitch to really work to lefties, and that's a really important thing, to have that pitch, that changeup or that split finger or something to throw to a lefty to keep them off balance, or you're just going to end up getting Kirk Gibson just like Dennis Eckersley did in the 1980s. But yeah, he's just, because of that, I think he could probably be pretty effective against righties and not all that effective at all versus lefties. So because of that, I ended up giving him a fag of a 7.1. He's just not amongst any of the elite relievers in the game. Next up, we have the 99 overall Tom Seaver card, and this is another card that I've been waiting on all year because Tom Seaver always has a tendency to have really interesting cards that tend to be a lot different from each other. Like, some cards will have a changeup, the other won't. Some cards will have a sinker, the other won't. But this is by far the best Tom Seaver in the game so far. The best Tom Seaver, period, in my opinion, relative to like other starting pitchers, was probably the 98 overall Tom Seaver from MLB 2015. But this one is really solid. I think he's. If I did a top 10 starting pitcher list, this guy would certainly have a shot to be on it. I don't think he's among the top 5, but he's really good. His per nines are excellent for a starting pitcher, 84-91. That is among the best. His walk per nine isn't going to hurt you. Like, it's not going to be, you know, amazing like Dennis Eckersley. He's not going to be pinpoint accurate, but it's not going to kill you. His pitch selection is on point. This card has everything. It has the changeup. It has the sinker. It has that really good slider, that really good 12-6, and a solid 4-seam to go along with it. One thing about this card that Tom Seaver has always had is his delivery is really conducive to a good changeup. I remember in 2015, his changeup was like one of the best pitches in the game because it looked like a fastball all the way until like the very end of the pitch, where it seemed like it just stopped in midair and just kind of floated down. Another guy who's kind of like that is the Nolan Ryan card. He kind of has one of those really deceptive changeups too. So that's a plus on his side. The one downside with this card is the fact that he doesn't throw super hard. He throws pretty hard, but not super hard. I know that there have been Tom Seavers in the past that have been able to touch the high 90s. This guy is probably going to sit more in the mid 90s, and he may be able to run it up to 96 or so periodically. But for the most part, you're going to kind of have to finesse around with him a little bit, but that's okay because he has the really good per nines, the really good all-speed stuff, and the sinker to go along with it. Overall, I think this is a great card. And I ended up giving him a fag of an 8.9. A lot of people may think that that's inflated, but whenever I put that into the formula, his per nines and his pitch selection really gave him a boost. So yeah, an 8.9 for the 99 overall Tom Seaver. I think that this is a great card. Next up is, honestly, I'm just going to be honest with you guys, this is probably one of the most disappointing cards that I've seen all year. Doesn't mean it's bad, but whenever I saw them coming out with all these amazing third baseman cards, Brooks Robinson, you know, Adrian Beltre, all these great third baseman cards, I really thought that Mike Schmidt, once he got his 99 overall, was going to be an in-game card. Was going to be a card that had like 90 plus everything hitting, and he was going to have like workable vision, and he was going to have amazing defense. He was going to be pretty fast for a third baseman. This card has all of those things except one of the most important things, which is contact versus righties. If this guy had like 80 contact versus righties, it's over. This is an in-game card. This is one of, if not the best third baseman in the game. As he should be, because Mike Schmidt is one of, if not the best third baseman of all time. He certainly deserves a card as good as George Brett's or something like that. And this card, everything else is amazing. Versus lefties, he's going to be a monster. Versus righties, he's going to be solid. He has really good power, but you're going to have to be pretty precise with your PCI because that contact mixed with that vision is not going to be super workable. But his defense is elite. The only the third baseman that has better defense than him is obviously the Brooks Robinson, who is the best defensive third baseman of all time. But other than him, this guy is the best of the best when it comes to a defensive third baseman. And he also has that speed, that 72 speed to be able to, you know, stretch out those doubles and triples, maybe steal the occasional base. His stealing isn't great. Overall, this is a great card, but that contact versus righties just hurts him so much. And it kept me from even considering putting him like in the eights for his fag. I had to give him a fag of a 7.8 because you know, your hitting stats versus righties are just so important, and his just don't come up to snuff. Like 59-89 is incredibly disappointing for a player of his caliber. So a 7.8 for his fag, and yeah, really disappointing card, guys. But guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Player Reviews. I know that there were some guys like the silver Stephen Wright and the gold Beltron that I didn't review. I didn't really feel the need to. I feel like the only thing that those cards are really useful for are the conquest thing, so you can get the 99 Joe Mauer. But yeah, they're going to be coming out with new content today at 2 o'clock. I will be streaming that, so please come by and we'll try to have a good time. But yeah, guys, I love all you. Thank you so much for 2,000 subs, guys. It really means a lot to me. We're growing faster than I ever thought that we ever would. But yeah, I really appreciate it, guys, and I will see y'all later. Peace.